You recently made a video talking about girlfriends in that. Would you like to clarify because I think you made the title and you did it almost a little bit to poke a little bit, and it worked. Everyone awoke from that poke. But would you like to clarify kind of the nuance that you were trying to say?
Okay, well, I love satire. I absolutely love satire, like dark comedy, all that kind of stuff. I love just making fun at pretty much everything. And so that's the kind of approach that I really like to take in videos, especially making it to a point where it's very difficult to tell what is actually being said, because I love just hearing response where people are confused. Is it serious? Is it trolling? I don't know what's going on. And just that general confusion that is created, I find really entertaining for myself. I spent hours just laughing at how ridiculous it is. And to clarify on it, yes, the title could have been different. I think that the message could have been carried across almost as effectively with a different title. But the point is not the girlfriends. If people watch the video, the main point, in fact, at no point in the video are girlfriends ever blamed. In fact, they're barely even talked about. The issue is in the gaming house. The core of it all is the fact that over the years, teams have kind of identified that they just need to make sure that the player is playing at all times, right? The player is practicing and everything else is taken care of so that they can just focus more on practicing. But then that creates issues of what is your practice hours, right? And if you live in a gaming house, it's like you're living literally in your office. You don't know when practice stops. You're always there, so you always feel an inclination to keep practicing, to keep playing. So you go nonstop. You keep working over and over and over, and that's never very good. And so what happens is that with that, you add the fact that teams also decide to take care of everything for the player. They handle all the responsibilities for the most part. Cooking, waking up, time to go to the gym, time to do this, time to go scrim, time to do VOD review. Everything is so catered, like basically being in the military. But unlike the military, you don't really learn anything that can actually help you out for real life afterwards. You're literally just focused on learning about playing the game, which aren't skills that are very easy to translate into the real world. And so, sure, you get players that might be okay with that because they make a lot of money, transition out of it. I'm just gonna order food all the time. I'm gonna have a girlfriend that takes care of everything for me. But what about the large majority of players that don't have that? What about the guys that have to go back to their regular lives? They don't know anything. They never got taught how to cook, when to wake up on time, what managing time and the responsibilities is like. And so because they don't understand how to manage these responsibilities on their own, they go back to the real world and they end up suffering. They have a difficult time there, especially if they got picked from gaming at like the 17 to 18-year-old age, which is like a time where you need parenting, you need a lot of guidance. Sure, a lot of people go on their own, but that's not very successful a lot of the time. There's going to be a lot of bumps. And so I think that the idea is that teams have to take on a more parenting role and responsibility in guiding these players towards the future. And I personally am a huge advocate for apartments and no more gaming houses, which is like the biggest thing. Like you put the players in an apartment and they have to learn for themselves and have to kind of handle the realities of the world. But it's a big leap that no team really wants to take. They're like, well, if you do that, they're going to die. They're not going to survive. You tell any team, do we put them in a gaming house? They'll tell you, yeah, no, they're not going to live. They're going to order Grubhub forever. They're going to eat pizza the entire time and everything will go downhill. That's what happens. That's what every team will tell you. And so they never do it. Only a very few select players, I think, are even allowed to even considered for doing that. And they're barely even trusted. You don't trust them as far as you can throw them. And so I think that once somebody makes that leap, you can extend the longevity of a career and make sure that players are happy outside of the game and in the game. Because what ends up happening, players just think, I got to practice if I don't feel my play is good. Talk to any player. Will any player ever say my play is good? No, they will always be practicing.
You just described freshman year of college for most people.
Exactly. They need to do that.
So you're saying, well, if they go into the apartments and, they don't feed themselves and they essentially just die, or at least from the team owner's perspective, but they need to go through that at least for 6 months or a year, and then they'll become human beings again. No,
Yes.
So is APE helping the players transition into real life?
We are, but we're trying to help them in the extent that we can, because a lot of the players are in the competitive season right now, so they don't really have the time to go outside of practicing or thinking about practice. But in the off season, we're helping players in getting their careers and pursuing their hobbies. If their hobbies are, hey, I like singing, hey, I like writing, hey, I like whatever this I want to do, we'll help them out in that regard and try to push that and use their brand in a sense that they can also push that other thing that they want to do. I mean, we even helped a player get their driver's license. We're there for them. It's just that within the gaming house environment, it's very difficult to go in there and help them out to the extent that we would like to.
So you told me off camera, and watching your videos, you did not succinctly say it in the way that you just said it off camera. So explain to me what APE does, and including the people that you're working with, because it really is a full, holistic kind of company. So talk about what the company really does for players as a whole.
Well, the idea is that we want to grab players and take them under the umbrella of what traditional entertainment managing is, which covers pretty much all the bases. The player is there to pursue their job of playing the game, and we want to take care of the responsibilities of pushing their brand forward, breaking them into whatever mainstream media they want to do. We want to help them achieve whatever other side hobbies they might have. We're basically there to push somebody's career to the next level while they can essentially pursue the practice and the regimen that they had in the first place, because it is an all-around job. When you sign up for being a pro gamer, you don't just... The truth of the matter, you might have thought that you were just going to play video games your entire life, but you end up realizing that you're developing a personal brand. You have a career beyond playing that you can pursue, and it's quite difficult to manage both that career and that aspect of professional play while maintaining your play at the top level. And if you don't, you end up having a mismatch where you have a player that has an incredible brand but not a very good career, or somebody that has a very good career but no brand. And then the sadness that I find right now is that, well, a lot of the time for a lot of these pro players right now, the brand is simply their career. That's it. There's really nothing more to it. Their brand is montages that they make off their stream. There's nothing more to it. There's no content that is actually engaging outside of that. And if the player is to drop outside of the game at any point, they'd be done. There's nothing more to them, and that's just not taking full advantage of what the opportunities they have in front of them. And we want to make sure that we can help these guys achieve that maximum potential, because we see it happen in the NFL. You see it in the NBA. People get sponsorships for whatever they do. You're good looking, you're a model now. You like watches, you do watches now. You like to cook, you're on a cooking show. I mean, take a look at somebody like Michael Strahan from the Giants. The guy has talk shows. The guy goes on all sorts of things now, recognizes his career. He's out of it, had a successful run, and because he understood what to do outside of it, now has a very successful career in acting and whatever other things they want to do. And that's what we want to help these players do.
So right now, there's almost two modes. It's you can be a competitive player and you can build your reputation that way, or you can make money streaming. But for the most part, that builds a reel of Twitch, which for the most part doesn't help personify the brand. The beauty of what APE does, or is setting out to do, which is you're setting players up to potentially make more money than they ever would playing competitive or even streaming. Because Michael Jordan, whoever, Derek Jeter, they make more money in sponsorships than they did actually playing.
Exactly. And it's difficult to understand because the industry is so young and there are a lot of mistakes being made, as is with everything that is young. And as a result, the focus ends up being very tunneled vision on the immediate, on the instant gratification. How much money am I making now? And nobody wants to take the leap and understand that this is a long run, right? We're in the pigskin days of football where we had the leather helmets, and nobody understands that. People think we're at the level where we're wearing cancer ribbons. That's not what's going on right now. We have to start from the beginning and understand that this is a long haul, that everybody's like practically in their 20s. Like there's so much more time to grow, and you can look back on it, be in your 30s and say, yeah, I was there when I was 17. That's when I started, and that gives you a lot of reputation and a lot of power within that environment. And until people realize that there is a longevity besides the immediate money that you can make, you can do a lot more. And it's further exemplified by the shitty contracts that people have, where all they look at, it's like, here's 30 pages of contract. Okay, show me the money. How much a month? Okay, I'm sign it. That's it. That's all they do. That's legitimately the way that these contracts are ran. So people can put whatever they want in it, and as long as the paycheck looks good, everyone's happy.